Good morning, pals. Welcome back to 100 Miles, 100 Days on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya. That's my fat cat, Jim. You usually see him wandering around in the background. And today we're going to walk a mile. We're going to talk about Disneyland and all kinds of Disney-related things. And so yeah, you should come and join us. It takes about 20 minutes. So let's take a walk. All right, pals, you ready for the countdown? Come on, everybody, here we go. And let's ramp it up. Glad to have you back. Day 60.
And there was much rejoicing.
Still going, still doing it. We got really lucky again this weekend with good weather, and we've just been kind of like taking the initiative that I just keep an eye on my phone, keep an eye on the weather. It's like Saturday was maybe going to be partly sunny. I said, I guess we'll just go ahead and take that for what it is and make a plan, and so we just headed out to Silver Falls State Park, which is one of our favorite places to go. It's actually one of the first places that Chris ever took me on a date. One of those things like, hey, do you want to go on a hike for a date? Like, sure. So it was, yeah, it's got a lot of very special feeling for me, and I just love that place. It's just, everything about it is so beautiful, and we'll go back there again. There's plenty of other trails to go on, and it's a huge state park. And there's a lot of, like I said in the video, there's a lot of really interesting history in that place. And during the summertime, when everything's open and the volunteers are there, giving you all the information about the different places there, it's you can get a lot of really good history, and it was, I mean, it still is kind of an out-of-the-way park. So at the time that they were, that the country was doing these works projects around the United States, it's one of the things that brought a lot of people to Oregon. With that one in particular, the little house, the house kind of building that we showed you, made out of stone, it was one of the places that they did all of the cooking for everybody. There's big stoves inside of it that are really, really neat, and hopefully we'll get to take you back and look at those at one point. But also what's in that building is a timeline of the building of that park. And super interesting that they even have like books, registers that show the names of the people that came out, whether they came out with family, whether they were, where they were from, the contracts that they had to sign when they took on these jobs. They had to sign a contract, and I'm not going to get this right because it was a year ago when we learned about this stuff, but they had to sign a contract where they had to send the majority of their wages back to a family. So if they were a young man, a young unmarried man, they had to send a portion back to their parents. If they were a married couple, they had to send it back to like someone who would put it into savings for them. But it was really set up as a way to rebuild the American family. So it wasn't just go out west, make your fortune, move along. It was come out here under the understanding that yes, you will get your pay, but a portion of this is going to go to somewhere else, and it's going to help rebuild the infrastructure and the economy of the entire country. So it's just a rich history of how some of our national parks and state parks were part of rebuilding these rebuilding works projects after the Depression. And I don't know, I just think that kind of stuff is so fascinating. We have a great time out there, and I just love living in this area. Just so much history and so much beauty. Anyway, the other part that I wanted to talk about is the making of those videos themselves, which I've just been spending time, like I've been telling you guys, I've been spending time learning like how to do different cinematic shots and what might look interesting, and taking all of, I'm finally able to, instead of being overwhelmed by all of the information, I'm able to take certain parts of the information and say, oh yeah, I want to frame this shot in a certain way. And I want to this is the story I want to try to tell today, rather than just kind of a mishmash of here's a pretty shot, and here's a pretty shot, and here's a pretty shot. But I was trying to figure out some of the differences with going from light to dark with the filters that I'm using on the camera, which is, I think I've said before, there's like these little filters that I can put on the lens of the camera that is basically like it either has a pair of sunglasses on or it doesn't. And what I should be doing is looking at my own glasses and when they're clear, I don't need a filter. And when my glasses are dark, I need a filter on the camera. Because we did get a couple of spots where I was like, ooh, that's really dark, and I don't quite have the skill yet to take my entire video into being able to color correct and audio correct and a lot of that kind of stuff yet. But there are things that I can see. I can see that I can do them. I know where the problems are now, so it's something that I will. It's something that I'm going to be working on when this 100 challenge is over, and I start actually producing videos for this channel for Chris and I, which is going to be a lot along the lines of what we have been doing together when we're doing these weekend things, where our original, I think I've talked about this before, but if I have, excuse me, if I haven't, welcome to me. I repeat myself a lot. But what we originally started this channel for, the reason that we call it Escape for the Day, is because that was our original intention, was doing something that, doing these daily adventures that we could leave the house in the morning, go do the adventure, come back home, edit a video, and put it out. So, like a daily escape thing. And so I feel like we are starting to really get to that point, that place with our outside videos where we could take the time to really write out our intention for that weekend, where we're going, what story we're trying to tell about the place, do some real good in-depth research on stuff so that we can do extras like voiceovers and B-roll and all that really cool stuff that I see in people's videos that I like to watch, and that I'm watching those videos with such a different eye, and watching and saying, okay, I know how they did that now, and I can improve my video by doing that thing because now I know how that looks. And I'm just, as I've said many times, I'm flabbergasted sometimes at where I was 60 days ago and where I am today, and the things that I'm able to accomplish now, and that it's not this full-on. You should have seen me in the beginning. It was just such a scramble, and I was so, I've been proud of every video that I've put out, because I have been proud of what I accomplished on that day. And I don't even look back and think, oh my God, how embarrassing, because I did the best that I could on that day. And which is kind of like my metaphor, my mantra for my life is, I'm doing the best I can today with the information that I have today. And if I get different information tomorrow, and everything I thought I knew today has been turned on its head, hopefully I have the grace to say, yesterday I was wrong, today I'm looking at things differently. And it just helps me to be the kind of person that I want to be. I don't want to be so rigid in my thinking that I don't accept that my way of life and my mode of doing things is absolutely the only way to do it. Make a pretty silly world if if everybody did things my way. That would be some chaos. But anyway, I am so excited about my trip coming up in 40 days. Oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to get all this stuff done in 40 days? Oh my gosh. But we will look at some more of the patch building and the ear building for the Disneyland trip. There will be, what we've decided, I think, is that there's going to be one day where we wear our 100 celebration outfits, and then we're gonna go back and wear our 70th anniversary outfits again on our second day, just because we both look good in blue, and and it'll be kind of fun just to see if we look any different than we did in October. Also, speaking of how silly people look on camera or in photos or whatever, My mom recently sent me a photo of her and I when I think she said I was like 18 months old, and we were at Disneyland, and we think my dad must have been the one taking the picture. So it's me and my mom, and you can see in the background that we're on the boat and we're in It's a Small World. So you can see some of the It's a Small World dolls behind us. And I have a look on my face that that I recognize, my mom recognizes, because I still do it to this day, which is I'm trying to figure out how I'm literally doing this. Because I'm trying to figure out in my translation of what that look means is either how does that work, and what the heck is that? What the heck is it? And I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about it. So it's all those things like rolled up into one thing in this little 18-month-old face of, I'm not sure that I like this. So who knows? I thought I always liked It's a Small World. Maybe it was because my mom really liked it and I needed to be convinced over the years. Who knows? And tomorrow I'm going to go ahead. We'll talk more about the art of, not the art of animation, the concept. So tomorrow we'll talk more about the concept art and the Snow White extras, because I just did not get a chance over the weekend to get any of that stuff figured out. So what we'll do today is we'll just go ahead and take a look at where I'm at with those patches though, all right? Let's take a look. And the reason that some of my stuff looks like it's polished in places that seem strange for it to be polished, or if you just wonder how the heck the magic happens, because that tends to be the case with a lot of this stuff. Is, it looks like that I just go bring and there's the magic and it's all done and no problem, anyone can do it, when I know that's not the case. It's that some of these things that I do, it doesn't always translate, that there's all this stuff behind the scenes that I've done, unless you know about them. I can look at what someone else has created sometimes and be like, oh yeah, they used this, that, and the other program to help them create a vectored image. And what a vectored image, what I'm doing here, creating this vectored outline, it creates an outline so that where this picture underneath is a JPEG, and you can see how all this rendering here is pixelated. But with this vectored art that I'm creating in this program, this line will stay as clear as it is right here, whether it is 1 inch big or 100 inches, or the side of a building or the size of a button. The lines won't pixelate. So it's a scalable graphic, whereas a JPEG is a picture of pixels, and a vectored image is scalable pixels. Haven't gotten them all. There's one more. So now you can see that I have an outline of Daisy. I could get rid of that big picture behind her, and you can still tell that that's Daisy just from the outline. I'm going to add in some more of the other lines on her so that when I print this out, I'll have my pattern to go on to be able to make those patches. All right, there it is. Congratulations, pals. All right, good job today, pals. And guess what? We've walked 60 miles. I'm wearing my space shirt today because we've walked about as far as it is from the Earth's surface to the beginning of space. I got to measure these things by something silly, right? So thanks again for joining me on another 100 days, 100 miles on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya. These are my ears. This is my backyard. And we'll see you back here again tomorrow. Bye, pals. Hi, Crookie. Hi, bud. Hi. What the world needs. There it is.